Good afternoon, freedom lovers. Have I got a story for you today? So I'm just on my way back from driving up to see a specialist, and this isn't the kind of specialist that you can get a doctor's referral to. This specialist will only see you if you've been referred to them by someone they trust. Before I get into why I saw the specialist, I'll just give you a little bit of a health history on myself. That way you guys compare it to yourselves and you can sort of make your own decisions based off what I'm going to tell you. So I was born in a third world country overseas in Afghanistan in 1980. So I likely didn't have the same initial vaccines that Australian babies would get straight off the bat. However, I did come back to Australia within 6 months and did all my schooling and everything here, obviously. So I did have some vaccines prior to school and during primary school as part of the vaccine schedule back then. However, probably nowhere near the amount of vaccines and the different types of vaccines that children today get in Australia. With that aside, I have had some interactions with hospitals and dentists and whatnot. So 2018 I had some abdominal surgery which required anaesthetic, and then another anaesthetic in 2019 for some dental surgery. And it was only, that dental surgery was only a few months prior to the pandemic starting. And apart from that, I haven't seen a doctor really. I live a pretty happy, healthy lifestyle, outdoors a lot. Especially in the last 2 years, I've been off grid, drinking nothing but triple canister filtered rainwater, and eating homegrown fruit and veg. I'm yet to supplement the meat. We've got the meat, a cow nearly ready, but I haven't been able to supplement my meat so far. So basically, I'm still getting about 50 to 60% of my diet from a supermarket. Now, not that makes that much of a difference to what I'm about to tell you overall. Maybe not so much now, maybe more in the future. But anyway, so apart from those surgeries and my diet, I'm a pretty healthy guy, right? And I haven't taken any medications or vaccines or anything that should cause any problems. But what I did decide I wanted to do, especially considering I've worked and lived around a lot of vaccinated people, was to go get a live blood analysis. And that's where I've been today. And the people I saw today are awake and aware to what's happening in the world, and you're able to ask them to analyze your blood and to give you the truth. So being unvaccinated, eating well, living off grid, I was interested. I wanted to know, has my blood been affected from shedding or from other sources of pollution? So we've got the stuff that gets sprayed from the planes, and we've got the foods in the supermarkets, and obviously I don't take any medications or any supplements or anything like that, but you've got those. So there's many different things that can affect your blood health. And a lot of it is stuff that's come from the outside of the body and stuff that's been made to go inside the body specifically to infect you with these things. So even though my blood was fairly good overall, it wasn't in my mind. And there was a lot of things. So the difference between my blood and a vaccinated person's blood would be that a vaccinated person has the mRNA inside their bloodstream and inside their cells. Now, this microscope isn't able to zoom in that far, obviously, to pick up RNA and DNA and that sort of thing. So the only difference under the microscope that my blood would have different to a vaccinated person's blood under the same microscope is that a vaccinated person's blood, all their red blood cells are stuck together and coagulate and don't flow real well, and they also have a whole bunch of other rubbish in there too. Now, that rubbish you would suspect, and I know a lot of unvaccinated people think, that rubbish is purely restricted to the vaccinated, and how wrong you would be. I just had my blood checked, and I would say I'd give my blood a 60 to 70% out of 100. It was shocking to see what was in there, to say the least. Now, being unvaccinated, I don't have the mRNA in any of my cells and in any of my blood cells. So I'm not getting that coagulation. My red blood cells were nicely spaced and flowing beautifully, and I would say maybe 80 to 90% of them were perfect shape, of the donut shape that you want to see in a blood cell. However, my blood had 20 to 30% of rubbish in it. And what's that? What's the rubbish? Well, not only did I have strands and shards of graphene, but I had nanotech, and I had hydrogels, and I had mold and fungi spores, and I had parasites, little spermy, wormy looking things. And I haven't taken any shots. So how does that get inside me? So these things, mold spores and whatnot, can come from cleaning a moldy bathroom, from cleaning moldy chairs, like I was the other day. So there's a high possibility my mold content in my blood had come from cleaning the chairs the other day. But most people have a small part of mold spores or fungi, or mold and fungi spores in their bloodstream. However, I had not a lot, but quite a bit, right? So shows that I was doing something recently, and that's true. I was cleaning moldy chairs only 3 days ago. But not all of that would have come from the chairs. Some of that would have come from what's being sprayed from the aeroplanes. Some of that might be from some moldy plants I've ripped out in the garden that have come from the geoengineering, constant rain, and now my plants have gone moldy. So there's a couple of different ways you can get that in you, but we also know that one of the things they're trying to spray around, because once mold spores get inside you, it's not good for you, right? So there was mold, and so there was parasites, and you can literally see these worms worming in the footage. And what I'll do is I'll upload, once I get back, I'll go through the footage and the photos of my blood that I have, and I'll show you some of these things, and it's shocking. The hydrogels, massive hydrogels in my blood, they come from the anesthetics that they give you for the dental and for the abdominal work I had in 2018 and 2019. Apparently the hospitals and the dentists have all been given a mandate to use a certain type of anesthetic which contains these hydrogels. And inside the blood, inside the hydrogel, was cities, dots, heaps of dots, like city lights of nanotech. Little dotted nanotechs all through the inside of these hydrogels. And when she squishes the screen on the slide to squash the blood, so you can put under the microscope, it squashes the hydrogels, and you can see the nanotech coming out of the busted hydrogels and forming lines, self-assembling while we're watching it on the screen. So I don't care if you're vaccinated or not, everybody, because I've been off grid for 2 years, I've been clean, I've been pretty good with my health, and I feel healthy. Everybody has this nanotech inside them, and that's the goal. They want to assemble this nanotech into bioaerials. So aerials inside your body that can send and receive information to the 5G towers that they're constructed during the pandemic. So yeah, very shocking. And considering my lifestyle, I have another friend who's very, very healthy, goes to the gym a lot, is a personal trainer, has a great nutrition, and is a nutritionist themselves. So, and very cautious about everything they put inside their body. So to see their results as well, which hopefully I can get my hands on to show you, they had nanotech and hydrogels and graphene inside them as well, which is what I had. So they're unvaccinated as well. So for this to happen to the unvaccinated, I can only imagine what the vaccinated bloods look like. And apparently, from what the specialist told me, it looks like a wrecking yard when you look at a vaccinated person's blood. So she wasn't overly happy with my blood, but she said she was happy, but she wasn't, she was saying there still needs to be some protocols put in place to clean it up. Now, my friend has gone through this protocol now as a test and has done a second screen on their blood and managed to get it back to 100%, which is great. So anyway, I've just had my first screen, and now based off this screen, a protocol is going to be written up for me. But I will show you these before shots of my blood, so you can see for yourself what an unvaccinated off-grid blood looks like. And then if you're vaccinated, or even if you're not, I suggest you look at getting this done, a live blood analysis, and get it done with someone who's willing to tell you the truth and point out what's what in the blood, because otherwise you're just going to be looking at it going, I'm not too sure. I saw white blood cells of mine on the slide munching up nanotechnology. I saw it trying to break down the hydrogels. I saw it get mold spores and eat them, and I seen some of my white blood cells grab my red blood cells that were damaged from the nanotechnology and the hydrogels and reinvigorate them and reshape them back to a circle instead of being a crunched up little cube or whatever it was. So it's amazing to see it all and live happening in front of your face, and shards of graphene and bubbles of hydrogel and dots of nanotechnology, and then little mold spores, and then little broken spores that spawn off, and they're making their own little family of mold. Oh, it's terrible. And my blood's a 60 to 70%. So you can only imagine what a vaccinated city dweller who's around all the EMF and taking medications and eating supermarket foods and drinking town water and taking all the vaccines that's provided for free for them. You can, and maybe even having their teeth out or having a bit of surgery and getting the the injections they give you before the surgery. All these things contain these things. So whether you are unvaxxed or not, it is highly likely that your blood is infected and your blood health is not as you think it is. So I suggest that you have a look at my results. I'm going to do the protocol and I'll show you the after results, and I suggest that you do it, because the more nanotech you have inside you, the more susceptible you are to, when they blast you with the frequencies from the 5G towers, to having these nanotech activate and then start joining together, which I watched them do on the slide. They start joining together and making strands of nanotech, and then they'll join it all together through your blood and create a bioaerial that makes you transmit to the internet. So then you can be tracked, traced, and charged. Your wallet will be your DNA. That's why they used mRNA in the vaccines. This is why they want mRNA in everyone. This is why they're shooting up the cows with mRNA, so people like me will eat it and get it anyway. So anyway, have a look at this video. Have a look at my post in the next couple of hours. I'll try and put the analysis up when I get home, and see for yourself. It's damning. We've all got it in us. The end is near. Out.